It's just standard.
Maybe you can't, but I just use it for basically audio backup. Actually, it looks pretty cool.
I guess most of your interviews are not more than.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, just because people don't have the time, and you know, it'd be great if they were longer, but people just, you know, have things to do. All right. Okay, so here we are going with the backup. All right, now. Okay, so basically what we'll start with is I will say, hey, what's your name? What do you want to be called? Like on the text underneath, what's your basic history? And then start talking about either personal opinions, experiences with Ouija through your life or through your profession in terms of the paranormal.
Are you going to throw me questions?
Yeah, I will, but just get started with your backgrounds and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Very informal. So I'm just going to get the right shot. Okay, got it. And okay, and action. And you can look, why don't you look right here to my shoulder here.
All right.
So name, who you are, and how you got involved in the paranormal.
Okay.
Or what you do in the paranormal. Cool. And action.
My name is Aaron Sagers. I'm an entertainment journalist, and I am also the founder of paranormalpopculture.com, a website that explores the entertainment genre as it applies to the paranormal. And I got into the paranormal by being a mainstream journalist for years, and noticed that there was a genre that was just exploding, and it was something that I was actually always loved ghost movies and monster movies and everything, and decided to start a website that focused on the entertainment aspect of the paranormal.
So does that mean you follow paranormal as it manifests in television and movies, basically?
What it means when I say I follow the paranormal is that I explore the movies, TV shows, books, comic books, internet trends, video games, as it relates to all things unexplained, all things paranormal. So that's from ghosts to aliens to monsters to zombies to psychic phenomena.
And you say you started off as a writer, a true journalist, quote unquote, with mainstream subjects. What got you towards the paranormal? Was it a personal experience or what?
Ever since I was a kid, I always loved the idea of the paranormal. I always read ghost stories and UFO encounters, and always was a big fan of those Time Life books that were mystery of the unexplained type books. So I was always interested in it as a kid. Professionally, what got me into it was I didn't see anyone else really talking about the entertainment component and entertainment genre and niche of the paranormal, and I thought, as someone that is an entertainment journalist for the mainstream, but also someone that truly loves this stuff, I could put a spotlight on it and open a discourse about it in ways that no one else was.
Sort of an ain't it cool Rotten Tomatoes for paranormal, in a way.
I would like to say that, yes, it's like an Ain't It Cool, Rotten Tomatoes, Entertainment Weekly for the paranormal. We explore the entertainment of the unexplained.
Do you know Dan Snierson?
I do, yeah.
Cool. I was, his sister and I were roommates with a bunch of other people in LA. Random fact.
That's awesome.
So anyway, okay, so my question to you, Ouija boards, of all the subjects, I'm a filmmaker trying to make a film with Bob, who doesn't play it, who doesn't think there's anything spiritual about it. I think there is. I think it's very, very powerful. I think it's a tool for, you know, people that know what they're doing. But I'm looking for opinions of other people. What's your personal opinion on the Ouija boards, talking board phenomenon? What do you think it's all about?
When it comes to the Ouija board, the talking board, the spirit board, I approach it in somewhat of a unique way because I was raised Catholic. And within the Catholic faith, you know, my parents always warned me about Ouija boards, that if I was ever going to a party, like a slumber party or overnight party or whatever, and somebody broke out the Ouija board, that was not something you were meant to play with, which, you know, made it kind of scary, but also created this sort of taboo component, sort of like drinking and drugs. Drinking, drugs, and Ouija boards, you know, are the things that you stay away from at parties. And also I remember like watching movies where as a child of the 80s, the Ouija board was this device that opened up a gateway to hell and, you know, unleashed all sorts of, you know, infernal creatures, and that was kind of scary stuff. But as I get older, I am fascinated by the Ouija board. I'm fascinated by it because I don't necessarily view it with the same kind of spiritual taboo that I was raised to have towards it. That doesn't mean I'm breaking it out and playing with it a lot, but I'm not as freaked out by it. And is it paranormal? Is it not? Is it just a piece of cardboard, or does it actually have some sort of mystical spiritual properties? I don't know, and depending on the day, I might have different opinions on it. And the best working theory I have is that I'm a skeptic, but I'm also sort of a big believer, like a skeptical believer. And the best theory I have with the Ouija board is that if you're looking for something really hard and you really want it to be some conduit to a spiritual world, maybe if you want it enough, you can kind of create that, or at least create that connection in your mind. But I don't think just on its own that it is, anything more than a board with printing on it and a plastic planchette.
So it's marketed 8 and up at Toys R Us. Do you think that's appropriate, or do you think that it's a tool for professional psychic paranormal people?
I mean, it cracks me up when within the paranormal community, people have very definite ideas about the Ouija board. And some people look at it as, yes, only adults and professionals, quote-unquote professional paranormalists should be able to use this. And I find that kind of silly, because this used to be a thing that was just kept in homes as like a device that you played with, like with when your friends came over. And so I don't necessarily think it's a problem that it's marketed to younger kids. I think there's a lot of things that are marketed to kids that, parents should be involved with when their kids use it, whether it's certain video games or sporting equipment,
Sure.
So that's sort of my take on it.
And that's a fair answer. Just to follow up on that, do you think that the Ouija board can be a conduit to the other side, in that there are negative entities there? In other words, what's your belief system as to the paranormal? Do you think there's entities? Can you get them through invitation, divination, all these other methods, or are you still skeptical on that end?
When it comes to actual paranormal, I am a skeptical believer. I believe that there are things out there we have not explained, but I really have a hard time walking into a supposed haunted house and just automatically believing it's haunted, just because it has that label. Mm-hmm. When it comes to the Ouija board and the paranormal, do I think it can be a conduit to the other side or unleash negative entities? I mean, I guess I don't know. I mean, I can't say 100% certainty on either side. I tend to think that, look, if you're looking for trouble in any situation, you can find trouble, Mm-hmm. And if you want to have a mystical experience, I don't need a Ouija board to do it. I mean, I can, if I am so dead set on seeing, a shape in the clouds, I am going to look hard enough until I see that, until I have that connection. So am I faking that? When I see that in the clouds, am I faking it, or am I causing it to manifest? I don't know, but I don't think the Ouija board is automatically a conduit to the other side, or automatically anything more than a cardboard, toy. But if you want it to be, and you focus enough of your own, attention on it and your own energy on it, then who knows what it could become.
What's your level of experience? You played it once, twice, 100 times, and anything crazy happened when you did?
I have not played with the Ouija board multiple times. I've played with it a few times throughout my entire life, and I think it's, again, back to sort of that Catholic upbringing of having that scary taboo with it. My experience when I have played with it has not been groundbreaking or anything freaky or anything even especially noteworthy. I don't feel like I ever, connected to anything, or, nothing ever happened with me.
Well, are you going to take part in the experiment tonight? I mean, will you be there or no?
Yeah, I'll likely take part in the experiment.
Good. Because you seem like the perfect person to, in that they've experienced it, but you haven't had anything that makes you question if it is. And I'm not saying anything's going to happen tonight, but you know, I think it would be great, you know, if more people like you were there and maybe something happened to challenge that. Because even though I think it's paranormal, I think it might be idea motor. It might there might be, you know, I totally admit I might be wrong. I just had an experience that was so freaky and beyond explanation that I'm stumped 20 years later as to what it could have been. So,
but that's also the paranormal in of itself. That, you know, when it comes down to the paranormal, the people that believe in it tend to have had an experience or have some sort of compelling reason to believe in it, to believe that there's something more than this.
But you don't.
I don't discount it. I'm a skeptical believer. I believe that there is more out there than we can explain, but I don't claim to know the answers, and I don't claim to say this is a ghost, this is an alien, or what, because I don't know. I don't know.
And you never had that experience that you speak of, like I did, which is fine.
With the Ouija board?
Yeah, like or with anything supernatural or paranormal, or did you?
I have had experiences that I cannot explain. I have had experiences that have left me freaked out.
Like anything that you can soundbite, like an example, like a ghost sighting or something, or.
You know, most of my feelings is that, no, not really. Like, I've had stuff that it's just sort of that amorphous kind of, you know, feeling. I am not the guy that walks into a room and sees a full-bodied apparition, you know, shouting boo, or I'm not a person that, you know, communicates with spirits. So I've had some weird experiences, but nothing that exciting compared to some other people out there.
And nothing that got you involved in this. It was your own curiosity that got you involved in general, intellectually.
Curiosity and you know, again, as a skeptical believer, as someone that thinks, you know, there might be more out there, and has had those weird feelings, you know, I look, my nature is to go poking around in areas where I don't understand and to try out crazy stuff. You know, that may involve rock climbing or jumping out of a plane or going into a haunted house. I mean, really, the coolest part about being involved in the paranormal for me is that part of my job is going around across the country to explore these very cool locations with a lot of history and a lot of stories. Like, I always connect to the stories of a place, not necessarily ghost stories, but the history and the stories.
And there's great history with the Ouija board.
Yeah, there's a lot of great history with the Ouija board. I find the Ouija board to be a fascinating item within popular culture because everybody has an opinion on it. And the Ouija board is sort of this, for something so simple, it has such connotations for people, and it carries such weight with people. And it is something that has been vilified so much within movies, but not just vilified, but then carried over into the real world as far as a device that people, you know, are in reality freaked out about.
Okay, fair enough. And so here I am as a last question, as a filmmaker, I'm trying to get to this truth or trying to figure it out, and I know I won't get to the answer, but what's your final statement? What is the Ouija board and how do they work in a soundbite answer? Your vote.
The Ouija board is a game and a toy that brings people together, that creates a sense of community, either for it or against it. You know, you are part of the Ouija community one way or the other. And how does it work? I don't know how it works, but you know, if it is guided by spirits and that can be done with such a simple device, I think that's pretty rad.
Great answer. And finally, do you believe that at the end of the day, in your experience, that you're opened up to the idea that it may be something supernatural? It's just that, like you said, you're a skeptical believer. You need more proof, and it just doesn't exist yet. Is that fair to say that the Ouija board doesn't offer you proof one way or the other yet as to whether or not it is idea mode or whether it's just something in that gray area?
In my experience, within the paranormal community and speaking to people that are paranormal enthusiasts, people typically need to have an experience in order to believe in it. And I am certain that if I had an alien experience or an experience with a Bigfoot, I would be a great believer of Bigfoot. And if I had a great experience with the Ouija board, I might be a believer in the power of the Ouija board. But so far, my experience with the Ouija board has been, it is interesting and it is a great talking point. It's a talking board, literally, because so much conversation happens about it.
It's true. That's a great quote. Last question, is it dangerous, yes or no? And answer that in a sentence.
The Ouija board is only as dangerous as any game or sporting equipment or, you know, or even, let's say, a gun. The Ouija board is not something that is evil on its own, but, you know, as with anything, if someone wants to cause trouble with this board, they can find a way to cause trouble with it and find a way to reinforce their own beliefs and their own superstitions and their own desires. So, you know,
perfect. Yeah. And the name spelled out and how you want to be listed in terms of who you are and what you do.
Okay. My name is Aaron, Aaron Sagers, Sagers, and I would like to be listed as a paranormal pop culture expert and founder.
Website.
Yeah, and founder of paranormalpopculture.com, all one word.
Perfect. All right. I'll check. And do you have a card, by the way?
I do.
Love to, yeah.
I do. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. We're all done.
Yeah, you got it.
You were very articulate, and I hope you come to this experiment just because if anything weird does happen, I'd love for you to be there because. But I think that was a very articulate point of view.
I'm glad it was helpful.
No, it really was. Thank you very much.
Yeah, certainly.
I do
I'll
appreciate
probably see you in there.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah, if you need anything else, just let
No, I might email you and just say hi. You know, you'll know.
Please do. Yeah, I mean, I write for CNN as my day job.
Really?
Yeah, CNN.com. So.
And what kind of stuff do you write about?
Entertainment journalism, like
Okay.
there's lately been a lot of stuff on apocalypse and zombies and stuff. So
cool.
That's always a
Here,
hot
and just
topic.
take my card.
Certainly.
There's something that maybe someday I might email you about something. There's something interesting that
Take the card.
you would like.
Get out of here.
So, thank you very much. Great interview.
Good.
Very articulate,
Aaron's
man.
awesome.
I'm very
I
articulate.
got something.
Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna get something.
Oh, you
I took 10. So okay, I'm gonna try to see if I can get Dave Schrader in here.
Okay, great. Grab
Here,
him.
this is for you, by the way. She gave this to me.
Oh, great.
But it's
yeah.
for, like,
By the
look
way,
at you.
it's not even. It's weird. It's like not even herb. It's the fake
It's
herb.
like K2, yeah.
Which I don't know even what that means. It's like yesterday some
synthetic.
guy died in New York, some kid, because of these fake herbs that like sort of acetone. And so I'm just like, so is it that or is it like the other thing? She's like, oh no, it's safe. And I'm like, fine, I'll start it,
I
whatever.
know you're like me.
But whatever. But like, I still don't get what this shit is.
It's like synthetic, yeah. It's almost like Darvocet is a synthetic Percocet.
Yeah, so it's like an
man-made-
opioid, but so it's like they're taking like Marinol and like spraying it on the
Right,
herbs.
well, right. They're taking stuff exactly, and they're taking shit that I don't know.
I thought it was like quinine and like really like shady
Really
things
bad
that gave the who cares?
I mean,
whatever.
yeah, your brain cells
Well,
are being
yeah.
killed while you're like, oh, this
Yeah,
feels great, and you're
whatever.
like, I can't.
I've done worse. I've had worse.
Yeah, it's
But yeah,
funny,
I
but
appreciate
anyway,
that.
there's
Thank
that.
you. I appreciate that.
And so he, what's I gonna say?
He
So
was
let's see
great.
if I can get. Yeah, Aaron's awesome.
Yeah, and go get Dave
He's like a little,
Schrader.
he's like a little monkey.
He's
I'm just
the,
gonna throw this in.
yeah, please, and he'd be great to have next.
Yeah, perfect.
If he's not, grab someone else.
Exactly.